The path to a Bengals appearance in the AFC Championship in Kansas City begins today in Orchard Park. Mike Petraglia inside Highmark Stadium in Western New York, just about 9 miles south of Buffalo. The conditions certainly will be one of the big factors worth watching today. We are expecting steady snow around 3:15, 3:30, just after the game begins here at Highmark Stadium. The Bengals then will probably have to deal with some heavier snow towards the halftime mark of this game and also into the second half. But in terms of wind, it shouldn't be too windy, and that's a good thing for both quarterbacks in terms of Joe Burrow and Josh Allen trying to strike deep and often down the field, which is something a lot of experts expect coming in to this game. Of course, the Bengals are in the AFC Divisional round for the second straight year, but the Buffalo Bills, they've been here many times before. For the last 3 seasons, they have reached this round. Everybody remembers what happened last year when Josh Allen almost engineered a miraculous comeback in Kansas City, only to have Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs rescue that game in Kansas City last year as the Chiefs went on to meet and lose to the Bengals in the AFC title game. This could be a very, very emotional day for the Buffalo Bills and their fans as Damar Hamlin is expected to make an appearance of some sort before the game. We don't know if it'll be on the field or in what form it will take, but certainly worth watching as Damar Hamlin has really re-energized not only the Buffalo Bills, the teammates, the coaching staff, but also the entire city and all of Western New York, and really all of football fans around the world. Certainly the Bengals had a large part in playing a role in that because they have supported the Buffalo Bills all along. Zach Taylor and Sean McDermott have become even closer friends than they were before as part of the coaching brethren. But there are a lot of storylines, but probably none more emotional than Damar Hamlin here on Divisional Sunday in the AFC playoffs. The Bengals offensive line, that is certainly going to be a storyline. It's been well documented throughout the week. 3/5 of the projected starting lineup is not available to protect Joe Burrow. So Jackson Carman will likely get the start here today for the Bengals at left tackle. He filled in, obviously, for Jonah Williams, who suffered that dislocated left kneecap late in the first half of the wild card win over the Baltimore Ravens. Jackson Carman was on the field for that first touchdown scoring drive of that second half, but after that, the Ravens were able to get some pressure on Joe Burrow, and a lot of the things that the Bengals wanted to do on offense, well, they stalled. They had a couple of 3-and-outs. They cannot afford that here today on the road against a Buffalo team that, it goes without saying, they are a highly charged, very explosive offense. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis and the rest. Dawson Knox could be a big factor today. Lou Anarumo's defense has to be aware of where that tight end is at all times, especially in the red zone, as Josh Allen looks to go to him on many occasions in red zone opportunities. Another thing that you have to keep an eye on if you're Lou Anarumo and the Bengals defense is Josh Allen using his legs, especially in the red zone, to score touchdowns. Again, this game figures to be a game that comes down to not scoring field goals, but scoring touchdowns. Will the Bengals be able to force turnovers against Josh Allen, something that Josh Allen did last week in that 34-31 win over Miami here on the field behind me? The Bengals hope that they can get Josh Allen to make a few more mistakes here today and take advantage of them. But again, the offensive line for the Bengals, Jackson Carman at left tackle. Max Sharping did very well last week, holding up for the injured Alex Kappa, who still is out with a left ankle injury. And of course, Lael Collins, he tore his ACL against the New England Patriots, and they have had to rely on Hakeem Adeniji, and he again has done a serviceable job, a commendable job, but their Bengals are certainly going to get tested here on the road. The silent count, the cadence, that's going to be a big deal. How well does this offensive line that has been jumbled up over the last couple of weeks communicate in a loud environment like they're going to face today? That could really determine how effective the Bengals are on offense and how well they do in protecting Joe Burrow in his attempt to get the ball downfield. Also, the other standard elevation, two standard elevations, Zay Prince as a tackle, and also tight end Nick Bowers. Those are the two standard elevations for the Bengals off the practice squad who will be ready to go for today here in Orchard Park. It figures to be a high-scoring, classic matchup between two teams who, of course, last met in that memorable game, and for unfortunate reasons, of course, when Damar Hamlin collapsed just 9 minutes into the game at Paycor Stadium on January 2nd. The Bengals and the Bills, with a rich history of playoff games between them. The Bengals have won the two previous playoff encounters. Both of those games were in Cincinnati. This game on the road, how do the Bengals handle the noise? Also, something to keep in mind, Buffalo, as you might expect, does very, very, very well in this stadium. They are 13-1 all-time here at Orchard Park inside Highmark Stadium in the playoffs. Their only loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars back in the wild card round of 1996. We'll have you covered all day long on clnsmedia.com. Follow me pregame, postgame, and of course in-game for all of the updates on Twitter at Trags, Trags. And as always, we want to hear from you on the Jungle Roar Podcast YouTube page. Click and subscribe and leave your comments below on the Bengals and anything else, good, bad, and indifferent. Inside Highmark Stadium, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.